Alyona, would you like to start by asking Raisa a question?
Unfortunately, my network is working not so fast. It is necessary for watching the video, and I haven't finished the watching of the video. I don't know what about it.
Okay. Anna?
I don't know. Isn't just you show the video about the part of our population who don't know such people like Gogolev, Solzhenitsyn.
So was your question why?
Not why, but isn't short no. First you like part of this population. So we all Russians, not all, but Russia too, and that is the first you.
Jan, did you? I was having some issues hearing all of that. Did you get it?
I did not.
I think, Anna, were you saying how do you feel about the fact that you're part of a generation that does not know so many of its own famous writers? Was that your question?
I can note that I don't think that there is not all of people of my generation, people like that who don't know Gogolev or Solzhenitsyn, but I think there is not show our culture. But it's either don't show our culture, so it's not
Yes. I understand now. Okay, so you're saying it's not very representative of Russian culture in that it portrays everyone as being at least uneducated about classic Russian literature, which is not the case. Yeah. Okay, I see now. Thank you. Irina, do you have a question or a comment for Raisa? Your microphone is muted.
My question is, is the situation real for your student life?
Okay. I would like to ask that when people are typing on their keyboards, please mute your microphones when you are typing, because otherwise it's very loud and I can't hear people's questions. So I hear typing now. So if you're typing, please mute your microphone. So Irina, please ask again.
Okay, my question is, this situation in this video real for your student life?
So if Raisa thinks that this situation is realistic, if it is like real life, yes? Raisa, did you understand the question?
Yes, I don't understand.
Okay, I will try to paraphrase it and write it in the chat as well. So she said, in your opinion, is the situation in this video like real life? That is, do average Russians know famous authors or know about famous pieces of Russian literature?
I think that many fragments or video was cut.
Mhm.
And register
Mhm. Okay.
um, show funny moments or funny moments.
Mhm. Yeah. So maybe there are parts of truth in the video. Doesn't mean that necessarily every Russian doesn't know, but perhaps it's true, at least in your opinion, that many don't. So
Okay, I have a question for the group. Isn't this supposed to be funny? I thought it was very funny. And so I want to know, do you think this is funny?
I think it's funny.
So it's funny because everything is exaggerated. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the kinds of humor. So that this is very much like a kind of American humor. It's not to my taste, but there's a lot of this where they show people being stupid or silly. Let's see, there was a whole string of things where the whole point is, how stupid can we be? And some people think it's funny. It's not humor for my generation. But I think that you don't need to be worried about how ignorant people seem. That's just how it is. So, are there any more questions for Raisa? I thought this was very well done, Raisa.
Yes, very nice.
And so maybe we're ready for the next one.
Okay, so everybody, I copied and pasted Yulia's link in the chat. Now, let's go together and watch Yulia's video. So please click on the link in the chat.
And remember to shut off your mic while you do this. It's very important. Someone, I still hear typing.
Yes. And please write us in the chat when you are finished watching. That helps. Is everyone finished watching the students video? Everyone watched the video about the students, right?
Good.
This was funny. I liked it very much. Good. Good, good. So, Yulia, is this like your life as a student?
Yes, actually it is.
Eating the ramen noodles?
It was 2 years ago, but now I eat normal food.
I'll sometimes eat ramen noodles. That's okay. That's funny. Very nice job. Very nice job. I thought the translations were very nice as well, from the Russian to the English. Were you able to watch this video or not? Anna Kondrina asked where you found this video.
I found it in VK, Vkontakte,
Okay.
social net.
Yes, yes. Excellent.
And it is actually from the channel Point.ru.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd never heard of it before.
It's a Russian channel.
Yeah, yeah. Very nice. Let's ask some other questions about this, please. Any other questions? You can write them, or preferably you can say them. Oh, Dr. Marston asked, what was the hardest thing to translate, in your opinion?
There were some phrases, some words, something like slang. For example, halyava in Russian and in English, I was hesitating and I didn't know how to translate it to English, and I translated it free by. I'm not sure if it's right.
What did you translate it as?
Halyava. In Russian, it is halyava.
And in English, what was it?
Free by. When,
freebie? Freebie?
Freebie. Oh, freebie, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I would say that. I would say freebie or free pass.
And so there was also one word. It's in Russian it's figня.
Yeah.
So, and in English I translated into English stuff. These noodles.
Mm-hmm.
Fast food.
You can also probably use the word crap.
Crap. Oh.
Or you can use that for figня or bean or something like that. We'd say crap. Aren't you going to die from eating that crap? Is what he says to him.
Oh, thank you. I will know.
It's kind of a negative term, but it's not a swear word. It's not mot. It's
okay.
If you drop something on the floor, you could say, "Oh crap." You're not going to offend anyone. But yes, you can't say shit. Shit is bad.
Oh yeah. And so what about the word them?
Them?
Them.
Oh, damn.
Yes, damn.
That is sort of in the middle, I think. It's
in
almost
the middle.
Considered. I'd say it's closer to saying shit than saying crap. You know, crap is softer. It's not as offensive, but damn is almost offensive.
Oh.
You know, where you wouldn't want to say it in front of the child. Instead of saying damn, you would say darn or darn it.
Okay.
So sometimes too, if I drop something on the floor and my son is there, or if I'm here at the university, if I drop something on the floor, I'll say, "Oh darn,"
okay.
and it's not offensive. Yeah.
It's very mild, and one of the tests is if you would mind hearing it out of the mouth of your 3-year-old child.
True.
So I have a friend who instead of saying shit would say shaving cream, which I thought was really funny.
Yes, and everybody knows what he means.
Yes, because of the sh sound at the beginning.
Also, a lot of people say instead of saying shit, you can say shoot. Aw, shoot.
Yes.
Aw, shoot. And that's something that a child can say. It's fine, just not shit. So we have these softer words for, you know, like crap and darn and shoot. We have all these softer words for swear words that you won't really get in trouble for saying it. It is funny. You're right though. The test of seeing whether or not it's acceptable is what I mind my child saying it. So sometimes my son will go, darn it. He'll say that, yeah.
And now I just while I was in Texas, I visited my granddaughter. She's 12 years old, and all the girls in her age group will say, "Oh my God," which is on the edge. When I hear that, I think it could offend some people if they're religious. So, "Oh my gosh" would be fine, or what my daughter says is, "Oh my goodness." And you're never going to hear a man say, "Oh my goodness," because it's too prissy. It's too fey. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about or not. It's not manly. But a woman could say, "Oh my goodness," and it's harmless. It's a harmless thing to say. And I bet you have expressions like that in Russian, so that you don't come out with something that is really rude. A word that you just cannot say in polite company while we're talking about this is, and so I'm going to say it, but you as a non-native speaker of English should not say it. You cannot say fuck. And so you're going to hear words that are close to that. Fudge is a good one. An old-fashioned one, and I have a lot of old-fashioned words, is fiddlesticks. It's mildly funny. Fudge, I've never heard that. I like it. Oh, fudge, that's a good one.
No, that was my typo.
Oh, okay. Well, I kind of like it, Carly.
You could probably say. You could
Oh,
probably say
fudge.
Fudge, fiddlesticks.
So it's one of those things as a non-native speaker of English, no matter how fluent you get to be, it's not okay to use vulgarity because this is so culturally dependent. It's hard to say it appropriately. And so maybe after you've lived in the United States for 10 years, you'll know how to do that. But by that time, we hope that you have learned to express yourselves in other ways that can be funny or will communicate the emotional level, the affective level of your speech. Because that's really what swear words do. So you need to be careful of them. But also, I think you need to be informed about them. That's why I've had this little dissertation on this, because it's if somebody swears at you, calls you a name that is vulgar, you need to know not to say, huh? Excuse me, what did you say? I didn't understand that.
Or, thank you, you too.
Yes.
Nice of you.
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
So context is very important. Not only just for vulgarity, but you need to know a lot about the situation you find yourself in. So that's one of the reasons why we try to expose you to a variety of tasks. And I'm at a real handicap when we have a day like this, because I have to rely entirely on what I understand of your translation. I can't say, well, wouldn't this Russian word express it better, because I don't have very many Russian words. That's the dialect. Yet. So I have to ask questions about the subtleties of the differences between the languages, and I guess I look on that as now an advantage. I used to be terribly frustrated by it, but oh well. So has everyone had a chance to present now?
Yes, I believe so. Everyone has now presented their clips and their translations, correct?
I did not.
Oh, Natasha, were you here last time?
I couldn't connect, so I missed one of the meetings. And
okay. Do you have your video on your desktop, or is the video in the blog?
yes, I have downloaded the video in the blog, and it's called My Translation of the Video.
Okay. Jan, I can look for that quickly, and
Okay.
and I will post the link. There's a lot of them titled My Translation.
The link?
Yeah.
So as you watch this, please try to keep in mind that what questions that you might have about the translations and the difficulties of the translation. And we'll talk about it. And please mute your microphone as we go to listen to it. And pay attention to the time so that we can all come back together.
everyone finished? Sure, Natasha, you can if you would like. That would be nice.
Okay.
Meanwhile, everybody should be thinking of questions to ask Natasha. So was everyone able to watch the video? Did everyone watch?
I'm on the moment when she told that he doesn't get salary. So because of connection. Sorry.
That's okay.
I can't read, but of course I can make suggestions about this.
Oh, there it is.
It's the tab at the top that is titled KVN Mom.
Yes, it's the title. It's the title of the video.
Yes. So I want to just looking at the English without the benefit of knowing any Russian, I would be interested in jackasses.
It was the hardest part because it's a swear word, so when I have translated this, I could use two variants, jackasses or goats, and I choose first one because of the meaning, but I had some hesitations because it's informal and this word is not good, I guess. So.
No, I think it's good. I just I don't know the flavor of the Russian word, and my neighbors are 4 young college guys, and they might say that word, but it's more likely that they would say something else. What do you think, Carly?
That they would say jackasses?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It seems like a word that a young college guy might use. You can call someone a jackass if they're being silly or stupid or foolish, or they've done something foolish. You can call them a jackass. Of course, it's kind of like swear. You would only want to say that amongst friends, again, because you would insult someone otherwise, because ass, again, is a bad word, usually, except in certain contexts, obviously. Yeah.
And And probably this is another gender issue. Probably no one would call a woman or a group of women a jackass or jackasses. Maybe at least that's my experience. Bimbos, yeah. Not a word that's in my vocabulary any longer because I try not to use words that demean women. So you're always going to get that from me because I'm a feminist. So a bimbo, yes, we used to talk about dumb blondes too. Or and something that you might hear that could relate to both men or women, but usually a woman will be an airhead, a person that instead of having brains in her head has air. So you might say, oh, she's a real airhead. This is not something that anyone would ever say about Carly, however. No one's ever called you an airhead, have they, Carly?
Perhaps not since I was 13 years old or something. When I probably was giggling like an airhead.
Yes, okay, that's true. Airheads giggle.
But so when I was a teenager, maybe, but no, not since. Now I would consider that to be a pretty big insult.
Yeah. Yeah, air instead of a brain. Okay, so jackasses. So what is the source of the humor? What's funny here?
In the cartoon, right, Jen?
Oh, no, not in the cartoon. In the translation that we were looking at.
Oh, and
about mom.
Mhm. Yes, we're looking at it and thinking about why it's funny. I personally find this very funny because my father is completely computer illiterate. I don't think my father knows how to send an email. I really don't. I love my father. I absolutely love him to death, but I don't think he knows anything about computers. So why is this funny?
My number is she knows very well our Russian social net contact, and she did now because we live secretly with my parents now, and they miss, and the mom looks photos, looks news, latest news, and sometimes it seems to me that she knows more about news of my friend and their photos than I, because I have not so much time for keeping contacted, but she she's an accountant, and she's working, and one part of the screen is her work, and the other part of the screen, my photo on my main page in the social net, and my mom is speaking and looking. And the most funny thing that when I visit my home and I go home and go meeting parents, Contacti is open too, and I also see my photos and the same things while I'm with them. I'm sure that the similar things that contact, Facebook, and other things are people people are getting for you to use it. And it seems to me sometimes that he can't she can't without it. I don't know why, but he's really interested in it.
I know exactly what you mean. Does anybody else have any interesting stories or anything about parents and technology, perhaps parents and Facebook, parents and the contact you?
Oh, yes. 4 years ago, I arrived in Omsk city. Before I lived in Pavlodar, Kazakhstan. So that is why my mother had to learn how to use the computer, especially Skype, to communicate with me. So it was really very difficult. She asked me, firstly she phoned me by the mobile telephone. She asked me, Yuda, how to switch on the computer, how to switch on the Skype, and so only then we tried to communicate with each other. And so some days ago, my mother had a birthday, and my sister gave her a sensor mobile telephone. And so my mother was trying to send me a message from this sensor mobile telephone for 2 days, and she could hardly do it because technical progress is going very fast, and so our parents, they just can't learn it very fast as we can. So they need a lot of time to get used to it and to learn how to use it.
Yes, I certainly agree with that. What about anybody else's mother or father in computers? Natasha says she has the same situation. Natasha, do your parents know how to use Skype? Are they good at using Skype?
Yes, now my parents know about the Skype and how to use the internet, but it's been for a while. I mean, when I only moved to the Omsk, it was the first time when I needed to communicate with parents by Skype. So I had to teach them how to use it, and it was not easy at all. And actually, it was funny sometimes because it's really hard to explain which exactly window you should click or something like this. So and sometimes my mother calls me and asks some questions about maybe antivirus or different programs, and it's always not easy and fun. So.
Yeah, it's always slightly funny, but slightly frustrating as well.
Yes,
slightly frustrating.
I like my mom, so
yes.
Beauty.
Yes. I was very impressed once because when I was in Azerbaijan, I received an email from my grandmother. My grandmother is 90 years old, 90. She is 90 years old. And I was so impressed because my grandmother sent me an email. There were no punctuation marks. There were no capital letters. It was just everything, a giant run-on sentence, but it was the cutest thing. Oh, honey, I'm just trying to figure out how to use the computer. I bet you're laughing at me right now. Ha ha. It was just, it was very sweet, very endearing, and I have never received an email from my father, and I likely will never receive an email from my father because he has no idea. Computers scare him, basically.
I have a sort of a reverse situation because I love computers. I love technical toys. I'm inseparable from my iPhone, and I took very few clothes when I went to Texas. Everything fit into a small bag that would fit under my seat. And then I took my computer, my iPad, and my iPhone because those are my tools. And I don't go anywhere without them. So they were heavier together. Those three things were heavier than my bag with my clothes in it. So I guess it's pretty hard to. I just don't travel without my toys. But my daughter and I do not talk with Skype because she doesn't like to sit in front of a computer. She says she does that enough with her job, and she can't make it work very well. And I'm 70. She just turned 44, and I'm helping her with her technology. And I have a brother, an older brother, who would not ever. He would be an absolute hermit if he didn't have an iPhone. He only communicates with his phone, and he gets. But his grandkids have gotten him to do FaceTime. So, and that's kind of like Skype. Although I would never tell him that because he would be scared. So, as long as he can get somebody to help him with his phone, he's good. He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't send email. Fortunately, he still has somebody else who can send any necessary email or other electronic connections that he has to do. But, you know, at our house, most of our bills are paid wirelessly, and I expect to be pretty paperless by the, you know, by the end of the, well, pretty soon. We're pretty paperless now. I do make a few paper notes, but generally, I'm about the techiest person that I know right now, except for, let's see, Professor Shestakov is pretty much up to speed on a techie, but he does everything well. So. And Carly, I think you're pretty technical too. Is that right?
Oh, it depends, I suppose. Depends on the day. Sometimes I would rather just kick my computer when it's giving me problems. But yes, I'm not the techiest person I know, but I'm not too bad, I suppose.
So this is an important thing. If you've gotten to the point where you want to kick the machine, that's very good. That's a step in the right direction.
Yes, perhaps.
It used to be that I helped a lot of other faculty members with their computers, and one thing that I noticed was the men always blamed the machine. The men would always say, "This stupid machine," and the women would always say, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't get this machine to work."
Yeah, so the women would blame themselves and their own abilities, but the men would just blame the equipment.
Yeah. And quite often they would have the same problem with the computer. They just, men didn't take responsibility for the failure of the machine, and the women did. And this is not just American women, but others that I help. So for women, I often said, the first thing I would say when I came to help them is, first of all, this is not your fault. I never would say that to a man, because he already knew it wasn't his fault.
Of course. That's true that it could be men from any culture as well, because actually I was thinking about this the other day. My boyfriend, who is a Finn, so he is from Finland, he was on the computer and he discovered that there was no sound. Magically, no sound on YouTube, and he said, "Did you mess with my computer? Did you mute something? Did you download something?" And I said, "No, I did not." And he said, "Well, it was working fine yesterday. I don't know why it's not working." And I said, "Quit blaming me. I did not do anything wrong." And then later, like 2 hours later, he said, "Well, I fixed it." And I said, "How did you do that?" And he said, "I had it muted." My headphones were muted. And I said, "Thank you. Yes." Instead of blaming me for your technical issues. It's always something like that, I tell you. So if there's anybody else who has an interesting story, I would like to hear some of the other students' perspectives on perhaps men and women in technology, or your parents, your grandparents in technology. If you have any funny stories. I don't think we have heard from Anna Kondrina or Irina or Nadia or Raisa. Let's try to hear a little bit from you guys as well. It could be anything that comes to mind. Let's start at the top of the list then. Alyona, did you tell us your perspective about this?
I thought about my mom's skills on computer.
That's right. Yes, that's right. You did. Thank you. Anna, you.
I don't have funny stories, but now I teach my mom to use computer. And maybe what's funny, that my cat likes to be near on the table when I work on computer. Like now, she lies on the table now. Maybe you saw it. Now she lies here.
Oh.
She likes to lie near computer, or maybe on
Maybe on your important papers by your computer?
Papers, maybe papers. I think a keyboard, yes. On keyboard, she likes to write on keyboard.
Of course. I think that's a universal trait of cats, is that when you're on the computer, they want to be right there with you in front of your screen or laying on your keyboard. When I do research, I'd have my papers everywhere. My cat would come plop down right on the paper I was reading. So it's not always men or women. Sometimes it's our animals.
Yes, my animals are very problematic. As a